All right, Scott. He's back. Scott did a training with me just about an hour ago for our school group, PPC Copilot. If you're not aware of that, go check it out. Link to the group will be in the description below. So, anyways, we're doing lots of content, lots of Scott and I time today. But I've
Yes.
learned a lot in that training session. So, Scott is the mastermind and wizard behind Wicked Reports, my favorite third-party attribution tool. And he's got some crazy new AI features that they're launching with it. So I figured let's do a YouTube video, have Scott kind of show us what's coming. And also, like what the heck is Wicked Reports if people don't know, and why they should be looking at third-party attribution. I think based off of just talking to you and then the clients, right? Anyone spending 15K plus per month in ads should absolutely be looking at utilizing a tool like Wicked Reports. So Scott, thanks for hanging out with me today for our second round of training. Obviously, this is YouTube specific. And yeah, quick intro and who you are and what Wicked Reports is.
Sure. I'm Scott DeGrossier, founder and CEO of Wicked Reports. We've been around since 2015, fighting the good fight of attribution. And, we've evolved from can we explain people what we're even doing to now people understand what attribution is, to then why should you use Wicked Reports, what makes it accurate, and then the real challenge then becomes what do I do with all this data and how can you make it easy for me to get value? And that's what I was excited to talk about today with you.
And I'm fairly new, so I've used other tools, right? And I was upfront with you about that when we 1st met. But I've used, North Beam. I've seen Triple Whale, the others, and Wicked Reports is just like easy and but it very insightful. And maybe it's because I like spreadsheets, and maybe it's a nerdy side to me in that regards. I don't know. I don't think I'm a nerd, but maybe I am when it comes to that. But the user interface is very simple for me to understand, and then being able to see the customer journey and everything. So I have been using Wicked Reports. I'm fairly new as a customer and using it, but now we're talking to like all of our clients about it. I've had tremendous success with a furniture business called Home Reserve that I'm really tight with, and we run their ads for. And in their world, we're running a lot of top of funnel stuff. We're running a lot of Google, and you're like, what is what, right? Because when I look at my numbers on the back end, it's not what my credit card processor said I did that day. And so you're like, how much is truly coming from Meta? How much is truly coming from Google? And, Wicked Reports has done an incredible job for us too. Like, we have a longer sales cycle, usually about 30 days. That's because we offer with the furniture, we offer like a free trial unit that you can get. We offer these swatches. A lot of people want to get swatches to understand, hey, here are the colors, here are the fabrics, before they would actually go buy a $2,000 or $3,000 or $5,000 sectional sofa from us. And that customer journey is unique to that. So they'll start with a swatch, they'll go to a free trial, then they'll end up buying a sectional sofa 30 days from now. We can now kind of see that entire customer journey on those orders. It's very, very insightful. And what we have found too by using Wicked Reports is Meta is killing it on bringing in new customers. Those ad sets, it's not the ad sets that's ultimately driving last click attribution sales for us, right? But it's what's bringing in the awareness, the people who are first coming to Home Reserve's world, understanding who is Home Reserve, what do they actually, oh my gosh, this is cool. We're like in the market for a new sectional for the family. And wow, it's washable fabric. We've got this messy toddler and a dog that goes outside and comes in. So those ad sets were bringing those people in. But guess where they ended up buying? Google scooped them up. PMax, or the search campaign through the remarketing of the smart bidding, or the just brand campaign, right? But we never actually had true clarity on that until we brought Wicked Reports in. And now it's like something we're like looking at all the time. The leadership team is actually utilizing that data in reports that we're bringing to them in order to make decisions. And we've already made some pretty big decisions within our advertising budgets based off of what Wicked Reports has provided to us. So I'm a huge fan of what you've built. And I'm super excited. I was able to get a glimpse into some of the things that are coming. I think they're in beta now, these AI features, but they're going to make it stupid easy for dummies like myself who are like, just tell me what to do. I just want to click the buttons. Tell me where I should, make changes and optimize. And Wicked Reports has that feature coming out based off of Scott's like incredible knowledge. And he's built playbooks for all of this stuff. By the way, he's got a course coming out too, and so I can't wait to go through that where he's unpacked his brain about all of this stuff into it. And so, anyways, I wanted to give you the platform to with, at least with my little audience, to talk about these new features and even like the course that you've got coming out too.
I appreciate that. I wouldn't say it's a little audience; it's an advanced audience. So
Maybe, yeah. I hope it is.
I mean, any attribution party solution should be able to determine profitable ad spend. It's a look at all the touch points, divide it all up, figure out if I'm making money or not. But where we chose to specialize for the deeper insights are top of the funnel, how am I doing on cold traffic prospecting, and then new customer acquisition, what's driving the new customers versus the repeat customers. Because repeat customers, I mean, still very welcome in every business and important. They're just people generally can reacquire a customer pretty well. And so we found those are the most challenging things to track, to then attribute what you tracked, and then to turn it into insight. That was just where our tech was really focused on. And so then when I got that done, and this AI stuff started coming out last year when, things started getting kind of exciting, there's a lot of issues I found with using AI to make analysis. I mean, it hallucinates and makes things up if you're not careful, although it's gotten better at not doing that. But then also, if you just present a chatbot and say, hey, here's a spreadsheet, go figure out what I should do, there's a lot of context you need, and there's a lot of measurement decisions that should be made before you send that data up. And then there's a lot of context to your brand, almost on a campaign by campaign basis, that you need to educate the AI on. There's almost like I realized a playbook was a good way to use it. I found I needed a whole system. As I kept going and going, I was like, oh my God, I need to download my whole brain to AI so that I'm happy with what it's telling our customers to do. It needs to be, if it's just a generic chatbot telling you, hey, your creative needs to be optimized every time, although sometimes that is the answer, that's not good enough. So that led me on almost a year-long odyssey to create a course, to create the AI, get it tuned up, and now it's here.
Amazing. Are you able to kind of show us a glimpse of it?
Sure, I'd love to. And before I do that, one thing I want to mention, so it's an actual system. It's not just and it's not a black box. So there's user input that you give that helps us inform then a system that we run based on 10 years of doing this. And then the output is is strategic with tactics and evidence behind the reasoning. So I thought you had to be reasonably transparent with why you're telling someone, because otherwise, why are you just going to trust a black box? So we're trying to give the evidence behind why we're saying what we're saying. And it's tied to what your goal is for that specific campaign, which I'll be able to show, and your brand's financial targets, because everything needs context. One person's $50 NCAC is we're going to be rich, and another person is I'm going to be broke.
Sure. Yeah.
and to hide the complexity, but not the power of attribution. We didn't want to dumb down what you needed to do, but we wanted to hide the complexity and then give you the flexibility as you made different decisions and got different outputs to really help work in conjunction with our system and tracking and the AI's expertise, along with your expertise as a marketer. You can see as you make changes, the different feedback you're going to get. So it's not just chat away and hope and then start from scratch every day with a new chat. Like that wasn't good enough for me. So
okay.
With that context, let me figure out how to share here. Oh, that wasn't too hard. I had the screen kind of minimized. Okay, so let me go into, I'll just do my entire screen. I don't think I have anything I can't share. If not, let me know.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. All right. So we are inside a Wicked Reports report called Funnel Vision. And, I'm not going to spend too much time on all the other pieces because we want to talk about the AI, but just know that we have a very, flexible interface. You can add and remove your key metrics at the top. And then we got of course, we have charts, but we also have something called pinned views. Now, these are important because you're basically, instead of starting from scratch each day, you are coming in here and specifically picking views of the world because you want to have alignment with your team based on what you're trying to look at and measure. You don't want everyone coming in here. Let me just go, and click around here. You don't want everyone coming here and clicking all their own settings and then you're
Right.
saying, hey, this looks one way, and someone says, no, it's the other way, and lo and behold, they check something different here that completely changed the measurement. We have I'm not going to get into all these complex things that make a lot of difference in your optimization, but we hide all this complexity now. But I'm just
By the
saying,
way, sorry to interrupt, but being a new customer of yours, well, recently, within like the last, 3 months or whatever, I've gone through onboardings with Northbeam and all of that. Your team has been fantastic at like getting us in. So like you get into the platform, but you're like, oh my gosh, like I really don't want to spend like 6 hours learning this new tool, right? Your team did amazing job reaching out, getting us on these calls where it's like tutorials of like, hey, cool, your data's validated now. Now here's how we start using it. And like it was incredible. Like you would think, us being in the I've been in the game for 10 years plus in regards to like, at least ad side. You would think even me being in this world for that long, I could pick up a tool like this and immediately use it. Well, I'm an impatient human being. So I'm like, I log in, I'm just like, okay, this is what I want to know. Someone show me how to do it. And, your team was able to do that. And that's not because I asked. They reached out. So your onboarding process was incredible for that. And again, I've been through some others where I was left like with Northbeam, sorry to dog them. Hopefully I don't get like a cease and desist after this, but I left their onboarding call confused. I was like, I really have no idea how to even use this. And built a little probably too enterprise anyways for my needs, where you guys made it pretty simple. So looking at this actually is easy. Once you're in it and once you go through some of those onboardings with your team, it's like immediately you can pick it up and you can start using the insights and you can start actually being inside of this tool. Like it's not a tool or so, like where like Northbeam I felt intimidated to log in because I felt like a dumb person when I got in there. And with Wicked Reports, I'm like geeked to go log in and look at the data now. And so I just want to say you guys had an incredible process to bring dummies like myself into the tool to be able to use in a very simple but impactful way.
that's great. That's great. I'm going to let them know that because they love hearing that. They're in the trenches here. They follow specific playbooks, and then now where we're involving the product to is you get that team gets the data accurate, and then the AI will analyze it for you. So let me show you kind of how this works. So I'm in because there's all kinds of complexity to attribution. Even where we try to make this as simple as possible. But let's just say you're using Facebook for new customer acquisition, which is a common thing. Well, then you need to look at your NCAC, but not only that, your trend. In this case, they've dropped their NCAC 33%, which is amazing, but their revenue's gone up. You don't see that every day, but this account's doing well. And then there's all these different measures, but you got to look at the point in time you're at, the trend. There's all this complexity, which I'm going to show you how we handle. So scrolling down, we've got all the different campaigns, and what we've got here, in addition to all the normal stats you might have, is something called intention. And so how this works, let me click on it, is we're asking you to tell us what you're trying to accomplish with this campaign. And what this means for your Wicked Reports, the value you're going to get is it's going to do a number of settings. It's going to set what touch points we look at or what touch points we don't. How many days of clicks we're going to look at, which is the most important North Star metric for that campaign, how much revenue to disperse among the touch points we look at, and then which kind of trends and which kind of secondary leading indicators. So all this stuff that you would normally take a course on, which people do love to take courses and do it this way, but you don't need to do that. And it's almost better that you let the machine do it, because it's going to methodically, consistently, every day, measure it the same, compare it to how it was doing, and let you know what you need to do. So it was a lot of almost insurance or mental peace of mind that you're going to at least measure and get the insights if you set these.
And this was, so, these intentions, right? Acquire new customers, cold traffic prospecting. These were already sort of playbooks that you kind of had on how to like use Wicked reports in regards to like what settings for attribution models, things like that to be using. And now you've built this in essentially dumbed it down for people like me who can just now come in here. This campaign's for acquiring new customers, and it is going to like basically auto have the correct attribution settings set up for you.
Correct. So rather than normally what you would need to do, because literally each of these, and there's probably more, these are the most popular, so that's what we're starting with. This would mean each time you'd have to rerun the report, change the columns, come in here. Not that that's, I mean, I don't think it's hard, but this is my system. I mean, that's what else be like, what am I supposed to do? You got to go in and do all this. You got to come over here, change stuff here, and then hit the button. And you might have to do that. I mean, there's 8 that we picked, but let's just say you have top of funnel, retargeting, and new customers, and then a lead gen. So there's 4 different reports you need to run, think about, decide what you're going to do or not do. And you're already like, that's not to mention, as an agency, you could have had like a client blow up at you about something.
Right.
Someone didn't get their creative done, or, all the just stuff you got to deal with. So you got 4 status calls that day. So you only have 10 minutes to be in the app, to be in Wicked. And well, you really needed to spend 30 or something, so all the reasons why you just don't have time potentially. So this covers all that. So you pick your intention. So that's the start. That's going to tell us how to attribute it. Then you're going to hit the 5 forces analysis, which I'm going to come in here and show you one thing first. And then based on the intention you pick, you are going to put in what's called a scale, chill, and kill zone. What that means is actually quite simple. Scale means if I'm below this number, if it's a cost number, or if return on ad spend, if you're above that number, if I'm in this area, I love it and I would spend infinity. I would literally say, don't stop spending. We are going to be, multi-trillionaires if I could keep this up. If you're in the chill zone, it means just that. You're busy and you've got friggin', let's say 5 campaigns in Meta, 7 in Google. You got to ideate with the client and with the creative team on new offers. There's just a lot to do. You got to create your presentations. So chill means, guess what? You can chill out, because based on what we budgeted, you're within the metrics of you're doing well enough to not have to worry about this.
Yeah, I love the naming convention on this, by the way.
And then kill is, hey, if this stays forever, I would run out of money someday. It may not mean you have to kill, but it's a warning sign. I got to get there and make changes. And if the changes don't improve, I have to then cut the budget or end it completely and start something new, or shift it to the winners. So each different intention you see here has a different like North Star metric, or it has a different a time it's going to be measured. So like if you just come in and you say, I don't know about the intentions, but I want to know first click, then that means pick cold traffic prospecting. Or if you're like, I only want my media to get me new customers, I don't care about the ones I already have, which sometimes people say, I'd argue, well, if they searched a competitor and clicked, it was a good thing you were running the ads, or you wouldn't have actually reacquired that customer. But sometimes people are just hardcore. Then that just looks at new customers. And if you're like, I like to use CAC, then you use new and repeat. There's all these different other attribution model things you can set up. But setting this up is another way to inform in this case, the ROAS between 2 and 3 for first click. It's a way to inform the AI, your financial parameters, and your goal, which dramatically changes how you would analyze something. Like, it's just dramatically different. Bottom of the funnel versus top. It's not just like, hey, what's my ROAS? It's like, which clicks do you look at? Which customers? How do you segment it? Which things do you ignore? what conversion rate is good or bad for that specific segment of traffic. So there's a lot of things that this takes care of by doing that.
When you have these set, because these are being set at the campaign level, correct?
Correct.
So when you were looking at that view, so of all of your campaigns here,
Mm-hmm.
each like the data points here, each one of those is unique to the intention that it's set to. So, the retargeting campaign has different settings there in attribution than that prospecting campaign when even looking at this view of an aggregate of all the campaigns.
You can do it that way. I happen to set this one up to say, look at it from a new customer view, which
Okay.
means what I would actually do here, I won't do it because this is some client's view. I would actually filter out. I could come in here and filter out and say, hey, don't only do the acquire new customer intention.
I see.
So
Okay.
then it would be exactly as you said, but I don't know what they've got going on here, so I don't want to do that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would just show this one right here.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so, but yes, exactly. It would do that. So retargeting, which I'll show that view after I go through an example, would look at only specific things related to retargeting. So that would be, yeah. So it's like out of our oodles of columns, and then all the trends that are behind those columns, it'll shrink down the amount of things you got to think about. And well, you don't have to think; it'll go think for you. But when you want to look yourself and vet the data, it gives you the right lens. It'd be very similar to you're a sports coach, and I'm like, okay, you gave your basketball team, you gave up 100 points. Well, what was your strategy? Was it, let them score 2-pointers and not threes, and we actually won 140 to 100? Then that's fine that you gave up 100. Or is it, wait, I got to dig deeper. That one campaign or that one player got torched. They just drove by him all game. And so we actually need to replace this one campaign or player because their defense is terrible. They gave up 50 out of the 100 points was the guy they were guarding.
Right.
Always like a sports analogy to me. And it's like, you need context. Is it offense or defense? Is it individual or team?
Right.
What was the score of the game? Like if Tom Brady, back when I was a huge Patriots fan, I'm a huge Homer New England guy. If he had a rush for -1 yards, is that bad? Well, not if it's victory formation. He's just taking a knee. We want him to have negative rushing yardage. That's a good sign.
Right.
So it's very context sensitive, and that's what these things help the world become more easy to understand, hopefully.
Yeah. Amazing. This is in beta, right? Like when is this coming
This is in
to?
beta. It's coming live June 11th. So ideally, this will go live June 11th, and we'll actually be tweaking the screen. We're actually going to show the most important and impactful actions. Right now, they're all shown equally, but we'll instead show the most impactful ones. This is the beta right here.
This is cool.
How this works. I'm going to go down and just find something that's not doing well. This one's actually doing well. Aggressively increase your ad spend because of a ROAS of 19. That's retargeting. But okay, here's one. So this is an analysis done. So they had chose retargeting. And the retargeting is in the kill zone. And this is their retargeting. And then we back it up. We always look at 3 areas. What's the traffic data telling us? What's the budget situation telling us? And what's the creative and offer telling us? So we got, a quick, and all of them are the same way. We want it quick and punchy. There's still a fair amount to read on one campaign. If you want, you could just read this and be like, okay, I'm going to reduce it. But we give the evidence, like, your new exceeds your repeat, which aligns with retargeting goals. Your conversion rate's 0.9. In this case, that doesn't seem to be a problem, but then it's minimal improvement. And then in the creative and offer, you have a low conversion rate. Review and test creative to improve. And so then here's the note. You have positive trends, but fundamental ROAS is concerning. Stable CPC. So it's not ad auction, because sometimes, you're getting outbid or outbid in meta even, but that's not the case because the cost per click is stable. So you just need to work on conversion rate.
This is for you agencies and freelancers out there. This is boom, here you go. This is like incredible content you could just be using for your client reporting right here, already built for you by Wicked.
Yeah, right now it's copy and paste, but we'll have click and it'll go into Google Slides. That's Q3. Q2 is dial this in.
Okay.
So what it is we're doing this, then we're doing creative specific, and I'll show you what you would do manually right now. Not manually, the data's there, but and then I'll show you where you're going. So you look at this. So it basically is telling you, okay, I'm in the kill zone, so I got to deal with it. And then where do I got to look? Well, it's improve the conversion rate. And so you're like, okay, well, what do I do with that? Well, let me go back here. So what you do, let me see if there's anything else on there that I would see. No, I think that's it. Anything jump out at you on this one, or did I cover pretty much any other?
No, I love this. Like this right here makes it very easy to go through. I like the AI summary, but I really like the traffic budget creative offer breakdown there. And again, I'm looking at this and like if I had this, if my team had this within like campaign insights, I mean, this is perfect to be using within any of our like client reporting or executive summaries that are being sent over. Like this is now, I probably would say don't copy and paste completely, just wicked, but this is already doing incredible campaign insights for you. If you have to articulate some of this back to a client. Now, obviously, if it's your own business, it doesn't matter. But from an agency perspective, this is incredible.
Yep. And so then you get this type of insights because it's taken into the trends. And then what this means. So review and test new creative variations. Consider A/B. So we're adding something to this because we're like, okay, that's good. But is there data that can help me? Well, it turns out there is. So we're trying to retarget web traffic for sales. So I have this view created where I go and look and say, hey, when I was trying to retarget, what ads got the best click rates, conversion rates, and drove the most revenue? In this case, this one actually didn't get a high click rate, but converted at 12% for 78 sales. That's pretty fantastic. Or this one that was like, a really high click rate, good conversion rate, and sales. So you can come in and see at the ad level what the ad is. So let's take a look and see what this guy was. So I'll come in and show you. So there's our lobster guy.
Oh, nice.
And so you can see what it is.
Scott told me a story on our last training about Get Maine Lobster where they said Facebook ads don't work. And, because of the wizard attribution skills that Scott had, they were able to prove in 3 months that they got like a 10-to-1 from some of the campaigns that they were developing then. So anyways, this guy obviously still spends on Facebook ads.
Yes, he does. Oh, and then this one's unavailable. It's edited. Oh, I don't have permission. Oh, I should have permission for that one. So then that's how that works. So that's how you translate this. So then we're like, okay, now we need to link over from the AI and just link over to the list of ads they should use. And then eventually just put them in here. Here are the best retargeting ads you've ever had based on the results here.
Simple. It's simple. I like it. Yep. Yeah.
And so then we have this both for, we have it for Google as well. So, often with Google, it's going to be new and repeat, or sometimes it's prospecting, sometimes it's immediate sales.
Look at that. There was a kill one up there I saw on the PMAX campaign.
This is a kill one that it's in 1.3. So then you're like, okay, well, why is it down? It looks like it's doing good. And it's like, well, your AOV is 158. And it's down 50% from your normal AOV.
Interesting. Yeah.
That would be, I got to look at this. So that's a tactical thing. You got to look at the SKU, audit and consider higher value. Well, it says it. Consider higher value products in the feed. So because sometimes like the PMAX or the new AI Max or whatever, it just starts showing. In his case, probably lobster rolls because they're like $100, so probably higher volume. But now the AOV's low versus the cost, and so now he knows he's got to go deal with it.
Yeah.
So if it's product SKU specific, it'll call it out here as well.
Very nice.
Yeah. So this whole system is based on this idea of called the 5 forces, which combines your intention. Let me go back here. Your intention with your zone. And then it looks at, okay, what does that mean? Then therefore we have to measure it a certain way. Then you get an outcome, and then you have to optimize that outcome towards your goal. It's kind of like just five steps. And then the optimization process is very detailed based on, is the AOV the problem? Is it the conversion rate? Is it the trend? There's just a lot to think of, because if you were in here in attribution, you've got all these different things to look at, and all these, as we mentioned, all these measures, all these trends. It's a lot to take in, and this attempts to solve that for you.
And Five Forces just happens to be the name of your course that comes out in a couple weeks too.
It does. So fiveforces.com, the number 5. Labor of Love. I should probably buy FIVE Forces, now I think about it.
Well, you better do that now before this gets released.
Number 5 Forces. The site will be up in a couple days, actually. It'll be up by the time people are watching this.
Okay.
This course I built, over a year as I started training the AI, as I mentioned. And then, so it'll walk through step by step. So you'll know the thinking. You'll learn, as someone who's done a lot of decision-based, data decision-based stuff since I was like 13, like literally 40 years I've been doing decisions based on data, just how I was wired. There's a way I was thinking about it that, people would be excited about to hear. I would help make their lives easier. But then going to apply it after just hearing me for like 5-10 minutes and be like, wait, what are you talking about? Or what did he say there? Yeah, or I would get on a Wicked Reports call and whiz through the data, and they love it, but then them maintaining that on their own
Right.
is changing. So I just opened my whole 10 years of learning and put it all in there. So
I love it. Yeah, I can't wait to go through it. I mean, it's not like I need to become, an attribution wizard like yourself because I've got your tools, right? But I like it's one thing I like about courses, if they're done right, is you get that person's thinking. So the fact that you sat down for whatever time period, sounds like it's been a long period.
yeah.
Yeah, and you're dumping your brain out. And by the way, it's really hard. Like I just even doing YouTube videos sometimes, like on something simple, like how to set up a search campaign. I'm like, how do I even want to framework this?
Yeah.
Right? Like, like I know how to do this. Like, I do it every day, all day. I've done it for 10 years. But then now to explain it and how I think about it is actually really difficult. And you end up with like writer's block at times, and it's not easy. People look at content creation and course creation like, wow, that's got to be so easy. It really isn't. I thought the same thing. I was like, this would be simple.
Creation. Yeah, you can create content just by blabbing, but you have to already have the experience and done the hard work. But then you got to translate it with like metaphors or like analogies, and then you need to make tools to help reinforce the learning. So I have like these downloads, these matrices and different visual aids to help. So it's not just what did he say or a bunch of bullet points on a slide as like people are going to hang themselves. I got to watch that all the time. I had to make it more interesting, and like it took a lot. It took a lot to get to make it so that it was approachable, not just like nerding out on like weird stat stuff.
Well, it's just cool, like to be able to then get and you have the playbooks like on Wicked. You've written a lot of great content there, but like to be able to dive into a course to learn more about this with it's your brain that you unpacked is just like that's what I always like about courses that are done by experts on a topic, because it's like I know. That they had to dump their brain out and then like piece it together, and to me that's always interesting then to see, because you'll get into your thinking, right, and how you frameworked it. So
you cut it and then you watch it yourself, and then you cringe that sometimes why did I say that? And then I edit it down, and then it became scripted after a free form, then a feedback, then a script, then feedback, and then the tight script. And now I'm happy.
Yeah,
I did my best, and I hope people like it.
That's amazing. And you just, you're launching 2 new big things, here at the same time. So did you do that on purpose?
Well, what happened was that, the course was needed for the AI, because we kept finding things and be like, well, you should do it this way.
Okay. Yeah.
The course came from trying to train AI since last May. It took us a year to get where we.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, listen, I'll have the link to the course in the description of this video, and then I'm gonna share when I share this out to our email list and everything as well. Like that will all be. I'm happy to promote what you've done and what you've built, and like. I know we discussed this on our last video. Like we didn't even get into the AI features there for the school group training, but it was more like some of it was like, just why do I need third-party attribution? Why do I even need Wicked Reports? Doesn't Google give me enough or Meta give me enough? And it's like, I think your answer there was really cool in regards to like, Yeah, some of you don't. If you're only spending like 5K a month and you're just starting and you're just buying a bunch of bottom of the funnel traffic on Google, you don't need wicked reports. You really don't. However, as you start scaling up, and I talk about buying the bottom up. So you're going from like all that bottom of the funnel traffic, and as you grow and you continue to scale, you got to start going up, which by the way is where most of the traffic is. And as you do that, yes, you're going to need to understand the attribution piece, especially if you're running Meta alongside Google or even any other channels involved there, YouTube ads, TikTok, whatever it may be, and understanding how they're all playing together, because they do. And it's I love going into the order. You can go into an actual order of a customer and see their entire journey from the first click to last. And to me, it's just so insightful to be able to see, and I know I already talked about this a little bit, but it's just that I love looking at that so much. Like you just saw whatever, John Doe literally 30 days ago found us through this one Facebook ad that I just launched that as a test. I didn't even know that would work. And he bought a $3,000 sofa from us. That's crazy in 30 days. And you see the journey of that. That's really, really insightful. And being able to like, cool, maybe we need to do more ad creative of like that. Well, let me get the more data points there. And now with the AI features coming to Wicked, where you can easily go into the campaigns and here's what these campaigns are meant to do, and not have to worry about going through all those attribution settings, which by the way, though, your team during the onboarding process helped us set up those views for the intentions that we wanted. And again, it was done in a very simple way. And now I can log in, hit those views that I want to look at, depending on the data I want to look at. So this is even before these AI features. Wicked Reports was way easier for me to navigate and use, partially, probably mainly due to the fact that you have an incredible onboarding process that trains you on how to actually use the tool with the data once your data is flowing into Wicked. But I would like anyone listening, because I was telling Scott, I'm not a Redditor. Okay, I'm not on there actually talking to people on Reddit, but I like Reddit. I like reading Reddit. I like going down rabbit holes on there. And I've gone down rabbit holes of third-party attribution. And the real nerds fight it out in regards to like, I've read these conversations where some people are like, absolutely, you don't need any of this until you're doing 50 million in sales, and other people are disagreeing with that. And so it was cool to get Scott's take in regards to a guy who's been doing this day in and day out for a long time, 10 years plus, and get like, listen, and obviously he's biased a little bit. The guy owns a third-party attribution tool, right? But his answer was great, because I liked the number you gave. It was like, usually 15K plus, you're going to be looking at multiple channels. You're going to be going a little more middle funnel, top of funnel. You absolutely need something like this. Below that, most of the times you don't. And one thing I've been discussing with my clients and my team is, because people get price sensitive. Oh my God, I got to get another tool now to make my ads work. Well, why, right? And then it's like, I have been telling them, I would rather you take, let's say they spend 20K a month, subtract your ad budget down to cover the cost of Wicked Reports. And Wicked Reports has a beautiful pricing tool on their website in order to get a nice little quote on what it would cost for your business. But I would rather take the cost, not new. I'm not asking for new money. I'm going to take legacy money. I would rather reduce my ad spend to cover the cost, which really isn't that much in the grand scheme of things, because I can make more money from that ad spend, even though it's technically less. But with that less ad spend plus Wicked Reports equals more money long term, I guarantee it, than having more ad spend and no Wicked Reports. And so it's a no-brainer at a certain point, especially if you're running Meta alongside Google. It's just like, absolutely, you have to have some of this insight. And do you absolutely need a tool? Maybe not. Maybe you have an attribution developer wizard on your team that can build this out for you internally. That is a possibility. The reality is, most of you guys listening to this and most of my clients don't have those wizards that can do that. And so just go find a tool like Wicked Reports that made it simple, and it's gotten easier now with these AI features that Scott has developed and built into it. And I'm telling you, like, once you get into the insights of that data, it really changes your ads and your strategies, because you get the full picture of what's going on with how prospects are being brought into your world, and then how they ultimately end up buying.
I couldn't have said any better, Austin.
Okay. I've been, scripted that and then practicing for you. Scott gave me that script, by the way. So I'm kidding. That was off the cuff, folks. Man, anything else?
No, the AI is going to be free for 60 days, so that it should make you back more than what you're spending on Wicked Reports. That's like our guarantee on it. Like, it's going to provide the insights that are more than what you're spending on us, so that we are a profit. Spending on attribution tools should be a profitable. It shouldn't be an expense. It should be a profit that you're making.
Absolutely.
A tool. So the AI is free, so that after 60 days, you already got more insights than whatever it is you've paid us.
Incredible. And it comes out, what was the day again?
June 11th.
June 11th. June 11th. Go sign up now today. This will come out before June 11th, but go sign up now. You're going to get it once it launches. And the course is live June 11th too, or it's a couple weeks out, right?
Yeah, in June. I'm hoping for both on the same day. That'd be pretty slick, but a lot of balls in the air.
You pop a champagne bottle on June 11th if you do that. So
Well, I'm going to take off that morning.
there you go.
Over.
Cool. All right, listen, go check out Wicked Reports. Go check out his course. Again, I'll have everything linked in the description of this video below. Scott, man, I appreciate you spending all this time with me today. I've learned a lot myself, even though I've already been using Wicked and I've already been a fan of it and talking to clients about it and talking to my team about it and everyone else. So I just appreciate you, though, hopping on and doing that training with the school group and PPC Copilot, and then doing this YouTube video as well. So I will do my best to continue to spread the good word about what you've built.
I really appreciate that, Austin. Thanks.
Cool. All right. Appreciate it, Scott.